Hello viewers, my name is Frank Kamshenga and I'm happy that I come your way to introduce a new author on the literary arena, coming our way with a new book titled Cutting Through Hell. And this is none other than Brigadier General Dr. James Kiyengo. General, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
And we are very happy that you took time and in the midst of your very busy environment to put pen to paper and write a book that is ready for a launch to be released to the audience. And so General Kiyengo is here to share with us snippets of what to look out for. But before we go there, General, as I mentioned, your environment of work is quite tasking. And as we seek to build the culture of reading and writing day by day, not many are coming forth to tell their stories. It's just of recent that we are seeing an improvement. But tell us your story. How do you get to make time? Where do you pick the motivation? So let me tell my story regardless of my surrounding busy schedules.
Thank you very much for that question. Time for a soldier is available because there is a lot of waiting when you're working as a soldier. There are times when you're not very busy and then you're not involved in the issues at home like attending weddings, parties, etc. because you're up there in the mission, so you really have time. And when you talk about what inspired me, I think everybody would have loved to write, first of all. But then being able to write is a different thing. I talked to someone who I knew had written a book. It's called Ulysses Chuka. And he said, well, you want to write? So this guy gives me 10 textbooks or novels, including medical books that I've never found anywhere. There was a book called Background to Hospital Construction. It gave me a lot of insight on how to handle issues in the hospital, but also trained me to read. Said, if you want to read, you have to write. So if, for instance, about Somalia, I've read over 10 books about Somalia in order to be able to understand what is not out there. And I've talked to the old men in Somalia and written information not known by some Somalis. And so I learned to know in order to know what needs to be known that is not yet known. And after that, I kept a diary. I wrote every single day the events that took place in Somalia. Every single day. At night, I would sit down and write. During the day, I would write. I would not even wait for the night because some of the things you forget. And almost every day, there was something unusual, something unheard of. So this eventually, Chuka made me write for a journal, the Taresita magazine. I was writing an article every time they published an article. So I could write an article in every journal, and then I got used to writing. Sometimes I would write firsthand, no corrections, and it works. It comes back, there are no mistakes, so I saw I'm getting better and better. In your formative years, were you writing? Secondary, going through university? You've come to it. I was a very, very bad writer, and I never write notes in class. So I grew up knowing I have to read by myself books. I could go to class, but it wasn't my thing. I never wrote anything. So when I left school, I found I have to learn to write. I got to the war college, there was so much writing. I didn't even know how to write very well. So I learned to train myself to write and to sieve out information from what so much that has been said and be able to crystallize and say, this is what is important. So I've been training myself to write, first of all. So in the process, you write a diary. If you want to find what to write, you write a diary. Very simple. So this is what inspired me, is to try to learn to write. To be a secretary of the meeting, I couldn't. So I said, I have to do what I don't know. So I always wanted to write. Even if I'm chairing a meeting, I always wanted to take notes.
With a view of training yourself.
Training myself to write. So it was a process of training yourself to write. Even now in Rotary, yesterday but one, I sent 2 pages, 2 screenshots of a meeting we had. Our past district governor was talking about motivating volunteers, and I said, "How do you write all this?" He said, "Oh, I'm used to it and I like it, so it helps me to learn to write." So
that way you formulate and you reinvent yourself and get to love writing.
So what you don't know, you do many times, you will know how to do.
Right.
You don't just run out.
Now, touching the aspect of the title of this book, Cutting Through Hell, just shed some little light about it for the reader out there who is looking forward to pick this book. How do you end up with this title?
Every day out in Mogadishu, I would see something I wouldn't really think I saw ever before. So it was a hellish kind of representation of buildings without windows, with about 1,000 bullet holes. At one point I said, if there's God up in the sky, these guys must have shot him. That's why he forgot about them. And so the imaginations came to me that, what is all this? The diseases that you've not seen anywhere. I went to a hospital in, I think it was Balidogole. No. Beret Wayne, yes. And there were 5 ladies who had a cesarean section, and all of them were leaking urine. And they said, no. They always come when they have overstayed, like for 5, because they know a woman can't deliver, is not fit to be called a woman. So they try to fight and fight. In addition, fighting to deliver, but then they also access to healthcare. It's not transport, clear-cut transport, it's security. So anyway, fistula. So everybody with a cesarean section has a fistula. Oh yes. And the babies are all dead. So these hellish kind of situations, you just can't believe these things are happening on earth. There's a point I collected old clothes from my church, from Rotarians, and carried them to Somalia. And then I also bought some gauze given to me by Rotarians to work on Somalis. But then, so I keep the boxes, 2 cartons in my room. I fear to give them out. Say, people will be very, very annoyed with me to give them old clothes. So I made up courage one day, and there were 2 bulk in my room. So I took them out, the outpatient, to give them out. And before I knew it, these red things were, I was a colonel by then, these red things were all taken away. And people were basically stripping me. The cap was taken. They grabbed the clothes. They said, Jimmy's, you can give us drugs, but not clothes.
Really?
We know how to give ourselves.
Oh, that was an insult?
No, it wasn't. Don't you know which clothes you want to pick from a heap? Do you need a prescription? Have this. You are a lady. Do you need that? That's what they're saying. No, we know how to give out clothes to ourselves. You don't have to appoint anybody to give them out. So the soldier was standing there. I was also standing there speechless. Me who was keeping clothes, I kept them for about a month, thinking that it would be an embarrassment to give out these clothes. people were desperate for food, for clothing, for shelter. You could go to a camp.
Wow.
And bed sheets are used as tents. And you find someone on the street, you wouldn't tell where they are sleeping. And so these kind of situations, we're dealing with hellish situations. And now, how did I solve this? Mainly, my work was to operate on patients.
Yeah.
So it did wonders. It made us settle in, saved our soldiers. Probably, I wouldn't say it in any other way other than that. Oh, it's like I have been. And you know, whenever you left Mogadishu, you would be going to die. Because aircraft could be shot as they are taking off. They could have accidents, but they could also be shot. So you knew, well, I'm out of hell. Am I going to heaven?
You're not sure whether you will remain in hell or go to heaven.
Yeah, so when I was leaving Mogadishu, I said, okay, it's like I'm going to heaven. And now, the last chapter of the book is Ascent to Heaven.
Now, when one reads a book, there is always either the best paragraph, the best chapter, the best piece of the story. Now, to you as an author, from your book, after you had finished and, you know, the way when God finished working, he looked at everything and said, now, after creating man, and said it was now all good and beautiful. For your case, what would you name your best chapter and why, briefly?
It's a very difficult question to answer, but an attempt at that, probably most of the innovations in management of large number of patients, large number of casualties came out in a chapter on posturing for apocalypse. Probably it is chapter 6 or 5. Posturing for apocalypse talks about the things we found not to be written that we had to do. Everybody talks about managing large number of casualties at the site of the incident. Now, when it comes to the hospital, it's a very different thing. You're doing damage control surgery, you're resuscitating patients, you're doing the best that you have to do at that time. If it's amputation, it has to be amputation. And you try to coil around it, you lose the patient. And then you wake up and know you have to take action. And action on everybody that needs action at the right time. So this chapter explains how to configure a unit, be it non-medical, for that situation where you have large number of casualties in the hospital. What is supposed to be done? What do you look at the food? Do you look at drugs? What do you do for the drugs in preparation for this? What do you do about the lab? What do you do about personnel? Security. It's all encompassed. This chapter, posturing for apocalypse,
is your chapter.
I think.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And to the viewer out there, you have an opportunity to come to the launch or to look out for the book from Aristoc or Uganda Bookshop and many others, to read the book and pick out your best chapter. For now, we'll say thank you, and we are grateful that we have yet another book to give us knowledge about so much, actually giving us the other side of the coin in regards to the operations of armed forces and especially the UPDF, because the medical section or department is such a critical one that we usually do not pay attention to, but now brings it to the fore for our benefit. And God bless you.